Hey, what's up, guys? Want to do a video today for you, kind of the current market of the firearms industry right now. If you're kind of on the fence, thinking about buying something, kind of now's the time as far as prices go. You know, I've been around a decent amount. I'm 40 years old, you know, so I lived through the first assault weapon ban. I lived through the California, assault weapon ban when it went into effect in 2000. And I can remember, right before the ban went into effect, rifles were $1,800 for a Bushmaster AR-15, and that was still on the a ban compliant one back then because we were deep into the federal assault weapons ban. So right now, it's probably the best it's been since I'd say 91, 92, something like that, because we've always had these waves since the assault weapon ban lifted in 2004. We had a couple years where everybody's trying to get caught up. Obviously, everybody's rushing down to buy them. And as it started to taper, we had a presidential change. He took office in 08. Prices skyrocketed. As they started to come down, we had Sandy Hook. He was reelected, so we had that next wave. And it took a few years for the prices to level off from Sandy Hook. Magazines. I remember seeing Magpul magazines go for just AR mags, $90, $100 for one magazine. Now they're $10, $11, just depending on where you buy them online, $10, $11. So now's the time. Just researching my local forum, as far as rifle sales go, I haven't really noticed it as much with handguns, but rifles right now seem to really be, at least on the California side of things. I would imagine it's probably as bad or worse in other states as far as prices. Just to be a seller right now, it's definitely a time to be a buyer. This is kind of, if you're from California, this is kind of like the housing market of 2011. Great time to be a buyer, bad time to be a seller. So if you've been kind of on the fence about something or thinking about getting that, rifle you've always wanted but just never went out and bought, if you happen to have the funds or could make the funds happen, I would say, guys, now's the time. Like I said, I haven't seen the stuff cheaper than, probably, like I said, before I was even old enough to buy guns. So I would definitely like to, anybody on the fence, now's the time. Because look, you got Virginia, kind of going through their struggles right now, and you may be watching this from another state. California, we're obviously, we've been the laughing stock from all these other states for years and years and years on forums and whatnot. Maybe you should just move, all this kind of stuff. But now California's coming to you. It's a sad and unfortunate fact. States are just one election away from being California. If you look at Virginia, what they're proposing, those guys would probably love to be California. As far as our laws compared to their proposed laws. So you never know when that's gonna hit. And it's best to be prepared. Buy now when it's cheap. Because there's the panic buys. It's kind of like when there's a hurricane running through. If you live in hurricane country, one's coming every year. You never think in the good times to get you 8 or 10 crates of water and 10 packs of batteries to put on the shelf. Everybody waits till the day before. It's a madhouse and it's a rush, and people are selling bottled water for $5 a piece. Just the gun market's the same way. Anytime there's a proposed ban, anything going on, it's the same way. Everybody capitalizes on it, which it's fine. It's it's a free market. So, but if you buy now, you can buy low. And just some examples of stuff that I've wanted. If you've watched my channel, you've seen the videos I did on the M1As. I was able to do some trading on these, so I really didn't have much money out of pocket on these, but I've been watching them. And prices go, looks like they're not selling unless they can get right about that $1,000 mark, sometimes $950. Sometimes I'll sit there for a couple weeks at $1,000, and then someone may make an offer of who knows what lower. But when I was wanting one, back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they were $1,700, all day long. So, that's just one example of, if it's one of those rifles you kind of always wanted, or just never committed. If you can swing the funding, now's a good time to kind of wheel and deal on some used stuff. The new market is pretty saturated too. If you look at Palmettos, I got a decent amount of Palmetto stuff, and I've always had good luck with it. Their sales are just crazy. You can build a full AR for probably $350, something like that. By the time you get a parts kit from them and a strip lower somewhere, you have $350, $400 and pretty solid AR. They're not bad stuff. So now would be the time. Like I said, guys, this is something else I picked up is a CTR, or like a Century Arm C308 made with the PTR receiver. And This thing I picked up really cheap off of forums. Something I've kind of wanted, but I never really committed to getting a PTR or a G3 style. It was always kind of there. I always wanted one, but now with the prices, and like I said, you may be able to get them for this year, next year, year after, but who knows when. They're not, and as soon as you can't, or as soon as it gets to where you close that timeline where you can't, these things are going to skyrocket. This all of a sudden, instead of paying $500, $600, $700 for one, you're going to pay $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, like we see in Sandy Hook. So another thing is too, like AR-10s. It's kind of one of those things. I always wanted the AR-10, but I just never took the plunge. It was just like on the list, but never did it. What got me kind of changed my thinking is with my son being born recently, I knew he wasn't going to be able to have the chance to buy any of this stuff. I know it's going to be gone by the time he's 21. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It's going to be gone as far as buying new. So I figure if I can get some stuff that he may like in the future, or at least he'll have the option to get it. I can give it to him, I can pass it down, whatever the case may be. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to walk down into a store when he turns 21 and buy something of this sort. This is Palmetto's, another great deal. $420 for a complete upper, 308 18-inch stainless. I got the lower receivers shipped to my FFL. $100 for a strip lower AR-10, and then another $100 in completion kit. So I'll have literally $650, maybe $700 in this thing when it's done, minus all the crap I hung on it, optics and stuff. But as far as just the base rifle goes, another good deal going on right now is Aero Precision. Sometimes, especially like here in California, Palmetto's, nobody stocks like Palmetto's lowers. And in California, most places are charging you $50 to $75 to receive something. So that $99 lower now becomes, $175 lower plus droves or however they do it. You'll have almost $200 in it here in California. So Aero Precision, most shops here can get them, and then they'll just charge you, whatever their price is. You won't have to pay that, exorbitant receiving fee. So another route to go that would, by the end of everything, it's going to be just about the same money, is Aero Precision. I just seen Schulers.com had a complete upper 18-inch stainless barrel, just like this with M-LOK rails, a VG6 muzzle brake, Raptor charging handle, and a bolt carrier, complete upper for $575 plus $8 shipping or whatever it was. So under $600, you can buy your lower from your local shop, probably $150, $180, and then you can source the parts kit directly from Aero if you need to, and the buffer tube, whatever. Get those parts sent right to your house. But that's another way. So building it that way, you'll probably have 800 in it, maybe 850, give or take, and you'll have a nice solid AR-10 platform. If you go back 2012, that's unheard of. 2013. I mean, you couldn't get an AR-15 for under $1,500. So it just goes to show you that what kind of the market's doing right now. Now's a good time to take advantage of it if you're able. If you got to make a little bit of penny pinching here and there to do it, I'd say don't not pay your mortgage or your rent, obviously, but if you got just a little bit, you can kind of squeeze out there and get something that you've wanted. I'd say now is a great time to take advantage. If you look at magazines, like this is a 20 round AR-10 mag. These are, I think, $18 on gunmagwarehouse.com. The G3s, PTR-91s, Setneys. These magazines right here are surplus HK. They're factory HK mags. They're surplus aluminum mags. These are like $6.99 right now, $7. So when AR mags you can find anywhere from $8 up, just depending on what style or brand or whatever you want to go with. But no, guys, these are the lowest hanging fruit. This is what's going to be gone first before anything else. At least speaking of what experience I have, if you look at the assault weapons ban and stuff, these are what even gun owners can agree on is what we need. There's a lot of guys that are duck hunters that says I don't need a 20, anything over 10 rounds. So even us as a gun community can't agree on this. This is gonna be the first thing they take. So buy them cheap and stack them deep. Now's the time. Suppliers are really wanting to get rid of them. There's some good sales going on. Like I said, Gun Mag Warehouse, Palmetto's. If you live out of California, it'll ship right to you. Whatever. But like I said, take advantage now, guys. It's cheap. When the ban starts taking effect, or I shouldn't say that, but if they pass or whatever, even talk of a federal ban, if the administration changes, You know, probably won't 2020, but you never know. 2024, obviously it's gonna, like for sure, if it don't change in 2020. Again, not a political ad or whatever, but it's just how it is. The panic always ensues when they flip, you know, the presidency or whatever. So if they, you know, changes hands to the presidency and the Senate and the Congress, then we're really in trouble. You know, as far as mags go, as far as just regular rifles go, sporting rifles, whatever. But your standard capacity magazines is going to be the first thing. I mean, I can see it. You know, even if it's at a state level, if it's your state, if it's legal now, it may not be legal next year, or the next election, or whatever. And stack them deep, guys, if you can. That's my best advice living through the first assault event, living in California. Get them while you can, get them while they're cheap. You know, don't be stuck in the line in the hurricane and paying $90 a magazine, $100 a magazine. You know, when you can buy them for $10 now. You know, that's just kind of from me living through it. Hopefully, to pass a little bit of experience on you. Is if you're kind of a younger guy watching this and you didn't live through that, that's what it was. I mean, we were paying $100 a magazine back then, sometimes more. I can remember I had a Ruger Mini 14, and I won the factory mag. It was $180 for one 30-round factory mag. Needless to say, I didn't get it. I didn't have the money, couldn't buy it. Now they're, you know, 25, 30, 35 bucks, whatever, for 20 and 30. So now would be the time to stock up, because they could be $180 again in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, who knows, 5 years from now. But if they're sitting there, the way I see it is if it's sitting there, it's kind of money in the bank almost, because it's just going to go up in value. I mean, eventually that stuff's going to thin out and they're going to restrict it, and it just kind of looks like how it's going. I mean, I encourage y'all to fight all the way, you know, as far as, you know, writing your representatives, you know, calling, joining some kind of a group like California Rifle Pistol Association, NRA if you choose to. There's a lot of good organizations out there that are fighting for our rights, other than the NRA if you don't want to join them, and I see why you don't. But yeah, guys, that's just kind of like I said, want to do a public service announcement. Now's the time to buy. This is the housing market of 2011 of California, and get them while you can. All right? Thanks, guys. I'll bring you a video too on comparing the Arrow and the Palmetto State Armory to see what parts are going to change, if the uppers will snap on those lowers and stuff when I get them, when I get back to the gun store and everything. Because I don't even know yet, and I haven't been able to find that answer. So I'll have both in hand, and I'll be able to do that for you guys. And I want to learn myself to see if, you know, one will go with the other. You can buy an upper from here and a lower from there, or whatever. But we'll check that out when I get them. All right, thanks, guys. See you on the next video.